Good day, everyone, and welcome to Hertfordshire Zoo. Hertfordshire does already have a zoo. It's called Paradise Wildlife Park, if you're interested. As the screen says, if you want to name an animal, please leave a comment with the animal that you want, male or female or any, and the name that you want it to be, and I shall add it in. Anyway, this is my first ever voiceover that I'm doing, and it's my first ever one that I'm doing on planetzoo, so hopefully it doesn't go too badly. I'm not a pro. I'm about, probably in terms of building, about 20 hours in. In terms of playing the game, about 60 hours in, so please don't judge me too much. Here we are starting on the meerkats. Now the reason I'm starting on the meerkats is because myself and my partner went through a list of animals that I want in the zoo and what she wants in the zoo. We're doing about 10 in each zone region. And first on the list was meerkats, and I thought it's a nice way to start off. I can do something a bit more special with it, hence the reason I'm showing a bit more than maybe I thought I would. Anyway, this is the second time of me trying to record this voiceover, because the first one, the video had duplicated, so I don't know what's going on there. Hopefully there's no more issues. Anyway, here I've mapped out a small exhibit area, habitat area, sorry. And I'm putting in null barriers, which will change. Don't worry. I still have to put in their sleeping area. Apologies, my voice went a bit then. Anyway, as you can see me struggle with this, hilariously. There are bits that I've done off camera since the recording of this. It's kind of like the boring bits, like the guest facilities and stuff. At the beginning of the zoo, you may or may not have seen it, there's a large area where basically I'm building this entrance on Sandbox, and when I have enough money I'll transfer it over to here. That's where that is going to go. So yeah, if you're curious. Anyway, in here I am eventually going to add a small archway for the meerkats to come in and out of their sleeping area. Funnily enough, I wasn't sure about their hitbox actually, and it works perfectly. As I said, I am quite new to building, so I might get a few bricks wrong. I don't know all the shortcuts, all this, all that, and you can see me struggle quite a bit, which is funny. But if something is slightly off in terms of being straight, just let me know, and I might go in and adjust it. Here I'm adding a hole with a wall with a hole, and what I do there is I add in a glass panel, so this is going to be like a viewing area into the sleeping area for our guests when they come. Pathing, which we'll get to momentarily, big issue. So I've got this nice sort of European kind of twilighty looking rustic stone path, and unfortunately I didn't think about it until afterwards. I thought it was an issue because of the railing, but I was just bad. I do move this whole thing over to fit, but I do want to add a railing on that path again, so I must remember to do that. I probably won't remember to do that, but here we go. So just readjusting a few bits again, and I'm quite happy. Quite happy with the way that looks. Again, I have to adjust the null barriers because I forgot to do that for the sleeping area, but you know, I didn't know how big the sleeping area was going to be. Yes, the null barriers aren't great. Get over it. Anyway, here I'm going to add in another wall and another window. It's a weird skip. This is a skip that put me off last time, and where I realised that I duplicated the video. Anyway, we go with this clay painted roof. It's a really nice red. I thought it fit quite nicely. It does actually fit nicely onto the building as well. However, I do adjust it because it's not 100% straight, and I do get rid of that vent piece at the top of the wall. I'm just finishing off the flat roof here. Very nice. This is where it went wrong last time. Oh, there we go. Right, I've moved this and I'm using some columns to build almost like a roof support. So I have to extend it a little bit, and then I duplicate all of that a few times to make it seem a bit more authentic. It does look quite good inside. I don't know if you're going to see it. Oh, there you go. You can see it inside now. Now I'm adding the door for the keepers to come in. I do adjust those walls, don't worry. So I didn't actually know how doors worked in this game, so it took me a while to figure this out, and I had to cut out a lot of it. But eventually I got there, and I do end up placing the wall in there and then putting a door over it, so that people can still use the door and it still functions as a door, because doors aren't doors in this, they're kind of walk through. But you see how much I'm struggling in this. A lot of this has been cut out. So just bear that in mind. So there you go, you can see me adding the doors in now. I do turn that around, hopefully it shows it, but if it doesn't, I do turn it around. There we go. And the door is in, so they work as doors, as they should. So I believe I'm about to recolour the walls. However, I'm not sure. Am I about to recolour these? Yes. Right, so I'm going to recolour these walls into a nice deep orange. I feel like that fits the theme quite well. And it just looks nice. I mean, some of the other colours just don't look right as walls. Then I'm using this African fence, pre-built African fence. I do go around the entire perimeter. I don't think I show the entire perimeter being done. Then I just bring it down a notch, have a look to see how it looks. I do bring it down even more because I don't think that looks good enough. As you can see, I think that looks much better. Here I'm just doing some terrain with some light soil. I do sort of make it go bumpy, etc. But this is sort of where I think they'd be spending most of their time. So we'll have to wait and see. But they actually need quite a lot of soil, and I didn't think they'd need so much. So I didn't do as much, to be honest, to start off with, but I did eventually. Here I'm just decorating the sleeping area to make it look a bit better and not just so randomly plonked in. So I do the columns in all four corners. And then I do this sort of pattern, I guess, around the window. I did try it on top as well, but it didn't quite look right. So this just copies across, sorry. And yeah, you can see, oh, bad. And then I'm just trying to fill it in a little bit around the outside just to make it a bit different. So it's not just, you know, trees and plants, etc. So I've got some pots and a car and a tent in there. Looks all right. Then I'm just going to add the bedding for the meerkats. This standard bedding. I don't think you can get any different bedding yet. Originally I had planned a different way of naming this, but it didn't work out well. So whilst I was trying to think of what I could do, I thought, you know what? It might look nice on two different corners. So I just adjust that and go up. And welcome to Meerkat Manor. Don't worry, I do adjust these letters here, and I do colour them shortly. But this is Meerkat Manor. Add a little meerkat on the side there as well, very nice. And they go into the same colour as that red, because I really like it. I think it's a really nice colour, and I think it suits with the columns as well. It's looking good so far. I'm just going to add in some rocks. Just move them around a little bit so they look a bit different. They're not all the same and copy pasted, so to speak. And then adding some light soil around the edges. Here I randomly decided to add in a piece of glass, which I actually think looks decent. It was between that or a piece of wall, and I actually think the glass looks decent. And I do adjust this little boy as well to go in more central. But I think that looks decent. A bit different. And here we have the meerkats making their way into the habitat for the first time. And he's so excited, bless him, that he runs straight out. And so does the second one. Very cute little animals. And this is the view from the hole, or the pod, or whatever you want to call it. That one just gets a box landing on it. They do stay still and eventually start to move. Here I'm just going to finish off the terrain inside. They don't like a lot of grass or a lot of plants. So I had to keep sort of getting rid of some and adding some more. But eventually I found one that they do like. I just added a few of it. As you can see, the coverage goes up. them down. And then we're pretty much done with it, to be fair. There's not too much more to it. Let's go over to the Meerkat view, and honestly, I think this looks really good. I am so happy with this as my first build. I think it's probably the best build that I've done, so pressure on myself. But anyway, let's zip on over to what we had before and now what we have. I've added in some planted areas as well, so don't judge me too much. But there we go, looking down onto the fantastic meerkats. Thank you so much for watching. It has been a pleasure. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you again next time.